I know Brown Stadium situation in Brook Park. They took a vote again yesterday, and there's also a thing that it could impact what happens moving forward. So, just your thoughts on the stadium situation and the budget allocation for that.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to this because it's kind of an interesting wrinkle that I don't know people really noticed when they hear the overarching headline of, the House approved the budget. In theory, that's a good thing for the Browns because it means that, the House is approving them getting the 600 million from the state to help fund the Brook Park project. Now it goes to the Senate, they'll vote on it. But what I thought was interesting was there was a follow-up vote proposed by State Rep Ron Ferguson, who was basically moving to amend the budget bill to disallow state funding for professional sports stadiums moving forward. And this vote was a lot closer. It was 50 nay and 49 yay. And so basically, like right down the middle, these voters are telling you like there's while it didn't pass the amendment, they're telling you like it's kind of a 50-50 split in terms of like how they feel about state funding going to these stadium projects anyway, that they would almost want to say we don't want to do this anymore. And we know that Mike DeWine's proposal to fund stadium projects in Ohio across the board, not just the Browns, revolved around increasing the taxes on gambling in Ohio from like 2% to 4% or whatever it was. So if that's what he wants to do to sort of get the funding for these things and not use state dollars, Mike DeWine, when this gets to his desk, assuming it passes in the Senate, he could simply sit there, veto it, and then they have to then get 2/3 votes, or it might actually, I think it's actually 3/5 votes to overturn the veto. And the voting that how this amendment sort of panned out is telling you that they wouldn't have 3/5 votes to basically overturn a Mike DeWine veto if he wants to go a different direction and how this funding sort of comes to be. So I found that kind of interesting because this could come back full circle to where the House and the Senate are later sort of having to go a different route. And if DeWine really wants to push this through, it could delay things for the Browns because it means new legislation, a whole new voting process to decide if they are going to raise this tax on gambling to sort of make it happen. And we know that the Browns are sort of on a tighter deadline now because they want to break ground, I think, early next year on this potential stadium. So they really got to start getting their funding in order. So I thought that was just kind of an interesting sort of follow-up vote that happened and a situation to monitor because yes, on the surface, on face value, the House approving the budget is good news for the Browns. But if DeWine decides he's going to sort of go rogue and veto it and go with his way of sort of finding this funding, then it could alter things or alter plans that the Browns have.
Yeah.